We'll go in 30 seconds from my mark. 4, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Greetings from Batesburg-Leesville, South Carolina, and welcome into Panther Stadium for Homecoming 2022. Batesburg-Leesville with a big win last week in region play against Fox Creek, looking for another here tonight to secure a guaranteed spot in the Class 2A Upper State Playoffs. It is a pivotal Region 3 AA matchup here tonight as Batesburg-Leesville takes on the Panthers of Pelion High School. Hello, everybody. I am Birch Antley. Thank you so much for joining us here on WBLR AM 1430 in Batesburg-Leesville and 103.3 FM. Batesburg-Leesville set to receive this opening kickoff tonight. The Panthers for homecoming wearing the purple tops with the white numerals and letters, the gold pants, and the traditional golden dome helmets. And Dan Holland, the head coach for the Pelion Panthers, opting to go with the all-white tonight and opting to go for a little trickery on the opening kickoff, and it does not work at all. It backfires against Pelion big time. Batesburg-Leesville will have possession at the Pelion 45-yard line to start as they try to go for an onside kick, and the ball dribbled about 3 feet, if that far. So it is Batesburg-Leesville football to begin this ball game at the 45-yard line in great opening field position to get things underway against Pelion. Batesburg-Leesville set to pass. Watkins is going to throw far side. Caught. That's good for about 12 yards over on the far side to his favorite receiver as of late, Jamarius Clark, the sophomore, Jay Clark, picking up the first down for Batesburg-Leesville, moving it deeper into Pelion territory at the 36-yard line. First down and 10, Batesburg-Leesville. Tanner Watkins, the sophomore quarterback, breaks the huddle. He'll work with a single setback. It looks like J.J. Risher to his right side, puts two receivers out to his right. Jay Clark to his left. He's going to throw quickly to Tucker Bolin. Caught. Tucker at the 45 and inside the, or 35 rather, and inside the 35 down to the 32, 33-yard line. It's enough for a first down for Batesburg-Leesville. So Batesburg-Leesville in Pelion territory. They've got the possession at the 33-yard line. First down and 10. Two receivers out to the left side. Jay Clark, Tucker Bolin, Cole Price, the receiver to the right side. Split back formation. Tanner Watkins is going to throw. Caught. Tucker Bolin, far side. Tucker picks up a block and gets inside the 30. It's a 6-yard gain for Batesburg-Leesville. So Tanner Watkins, some safe passing, but has completed all three passes so far. Batesburg-Leesville has yet to run the football. We've got a special guest with us tonight that's going to join us here in just a moment as we'll get his headset on. That's Jim Baxter. Everybody knows him as JB from SCVarsity.com, also representing the Carolina Bowl. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Tanner Watkins looking to throw. Now he's going to try to complete a pass to his safety valve, the receiver out of the backfield, the running back. It goes incomplete as he was looking for L.J. Williams, the 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. So his first incomplete pass sets up third down for Batesburg-Leesville. Ball is spotted still in Pelion territory. Just shy of the 25-yard line. Batesburg-Leesville has it inside the 30 at the 23. Looking at third down and about 5. Cade Boltonite's going to come on for this formation. We ran Cade with the Wildcat formation last week, scored a touchdown out of it against Fox Creek. Let's see if that's what we're going to do here. It looks like it. Indeed we are. Cade Boltonite will run Wildcat here. The senior will take the snap out of the shotgun. He'll go left, following Patrick Swigert. He's got the first down and more down the far side. Cade spins inside the 15, down to the 10. Cade Bortnight, a big run, following the blocking of big number 55 for Batesburg-Leesville, who pulled over to that side. Patrick Swigert, the 6'5", 240-pound senior. When you need some blocking and you need a big run, you just put your hands on the belt loop of 55 and follow him in. Batesburg-Leesville first and goal now inside the 10-yard line at the 8. Looking to go up early. This will be the first time this season that the Panthers would have such an early lead if we can punch it in from here. Two receivers right side. It's Cade Bortnight again. Cade's going to duck down behind left guard and tackle and will scurry his way close to the 5-yard line. Sets up second down and goal to go from there. Batesburg-Leesville getting possession to start in Pelion territory at the 45-yard line. Now they have moved it inside the red zone, inside the 10. It's second down and goal to go from about the 5-yard line. Toss sweep right side. Corey Williams is hemmed up but will break free. Corey now will get game tackled by some Pelion Panthers near the 10-yard line. No gain on the play for Corey Williams, the senior, who scored a couple of times last week in the win over Fox Creek, including a big touchdown from 48 yards away on a fake punt. Let's bring in Jim Baxter now from scvarsity.com. Jim, you and I have known each other since 2004, long time, and everybody around the state of South Carolina that knows high school football, really everybody around the country that knows anything about South Carolina high school football, they know you as well, as you really are, I would say, the voice of South Carolina high school football in the Palmetto State.
Well, thank you for those kind words, Birch.
Here's Batesburg-Leesville looking at third down and goal. Tanner Watkins going to hand off to Corey Williams. Corey Williams slips to the right side and will walk into the end zone for a touchdown. Touchdown, Batesburg-Leesville. Touchdown, Corey Williams. And the Panthers go up. Jim Baxter, that's the first time this season. We're in week number 9 for Batesburg-Leesville. That's the first time Batesburg-Leesville has had a first quarter lead. First time that we have taken the opening drive in for a score. That's it shows you that this is a young offensive line, a couple of freshmen starting on the offensive line. The only senior is Patrick Swigert on that offensive line. As the extra point is up and it is good, that it takes a while for a young group of offensive linemen to kind of gel and get together. And I think that speaks well for Batesburg-Leesville moving forward.
Yeah, it's been a tough road for them this year. They've struggled some, but that's for these young guys. That's a good thing. I mean, they respond to that adversity when they come back next season. You're going to have a stronger football team. You're going to be better for having going through those challenges.
Head coach Greg Lawson, in his first year for Batesburg-Leesville, has done an outstanding job, I think, especially given what he had to take. Coming in, not knowing that he would be the head coach when he first accepted the job as an assistant coach, and then Gene Cathcart having to vacate the position without even having a practice to no fault of his own, as Batesburg-Leesville set to kick it off. But I think Greg Lawson's done an outstanding job.
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's got a good staff with him, and I was talking with you earlier about the Hammer, Gary Small, and upstairs. I had a chance to chat with him before the game. And, he's great with the kids.
Kickoff taken at the 10-yard line, returned out across the 20, out across the 30, and will be stopped at the 31-yard line. Now, Pelion, Jim Baxter, they started off the season hot. They went on a 3-game winning streak, but since then they have lost every game. They were on a 5-game losing skid.
Yeah, you look at Pelion and they've got 45 kids on the roster, but they don't have 45 football players. And they're missing one of their football players tonight. Dalton Blackburn's not playing. He's concussed and he's going through the concussion protocol. But they're basically doing what they can with what they have, and it's tough. That's a tough place to coach over there. Dan Holland's done.
And we know Dan Holland can coach because he won a state championship at HKT, Hunter Kennard Tyler, down in Nices in Norway, not too long ago, and then he took the job at Pelion, so we know he can coach.
Yeah, he can coach, and they've got a good little athlete at quarterback that's a playmaker, but it takes more than one guy. Now, if they had 4 of that kid, it'd be a different football team.
And there is that playmaker, Lucas New, the quarterback's going to take it himself for 12 yards, coming near side as Pelion moving right to left on your radio dial in front of that Batesburg-Leesville bench. He goes out of bounds. Lucas New They live and die, Pelion does, with Lucas New, and he will not leave the field. He is your starting quarterback. He runs a lot from that quarterback position. He's also their starting free safety. He is also their punter and their extra point and place kicker.
Yeah, when you have a kid like that on your team at a program like Pelion, you got to use him, and he's going to be on the field the entire time.
Lucas New on first down is going to keep it himself, and he is going to be hit and dropped. No gain on the play. May have lost a yard or so.
The unfortunate thing about having a guy like that, if he's all you got, you see what happens. They're going to key on that kid, and he's not going to have the success that he would if they had 2 or 3 threats on the offensive side of the ball.
So here we go, second down coming up for Pelion with possession at their own 44-yard line. Looking at second down and long, 2nd and 10 here. Lucas New will work out of the shotgun with 2 receivers to his left and 2 receivers to his right. Single setback out of the gun. New takes the snap back, feels some pressure, throws incomplete. Was looking for his receiver Tyler Klassen, the 6-foot sophomore. Now, we talked about Batesburg-Leesville. It brings up third down for Pelion, trailing 7-0 to the Panthers. We talked about Batesburg-Leesville being young on the offensive line. Pelion is too, only 1 senior in Lucas Keck. Yeah, and they're young. It's a young football team altogether. In fact, the Blackburn kid is probably the only impact player they have that's a senior. New will be back next year, and that's going to help them. And hopefully, just like with Batesburg, some of these young players learn from this adversity that they're going through. They're going to go with 3 receivers, trips out to the right side, single receiver near side. Now they're going to balance that formation as they send a receiver in motion from right to left in front of the quarterback, New, who's ready to take the snap out of the shotgun, and he does on 3rd and long. Some pressure coming. He's going to float one off to his right. It's up in the air for a long time. Receiver comes in, comes back to the ball, and makes the catch on the ground at the B&L 32-yard line. 2 Panthers in the area. I think JB may have just kind of given up on that play.
They did, and it took every bit of New's arm to get the ball there. The receiver actually had to stop and come back a little bit.
So it is 1st down and 10. Pelion trailing Batesburg-Leesville early moments of this ball game with 6:57 to play. Panthers up 7-0 over Pelion. Pelion football in Batesburg-Leesville territory. They're going to run left side, and they run right into the arms of Christian Burkett for the tackle at the 28-yard line. Actually, it was Cade Baltnight. So a gain of a few there. We'll give him 4 yards, brings up 2nd down and 6 here for Pelion. Now, Jim, you've been with SC Varsity now for, I think, over 20, maybe 25 years.
25 years, yeah.
SCVarsity.com, that is only place you need to go to find out anything about Midlands area high school football especially, but he covers football around the state of South Carolina, and you really know how to develop players. You run a lot of camps, and you know how to, I say, evaluate. I don't think there's a better evaluator in the state of South Carolina than you, Jim. I'm not blowing smoke. I believe that wholeheartedly, because you go out to games and you see the players. You also have a background in healthcare, and you have a background in playing sports. A lot of folks that are on the internet that have websites that like to give stars have none of those qualifications. You do, and you've been doing this for a very long time. You know all the coaches, a lot of family members too, and you're involved now in the Carolina Bowl that's going to be played up in Durham, I believe, at the end of the year, and I think that's going to be one of the bigger postseason high school all-star games. I think it's going to rival the Shrine Bowl and the North-South All-Star game if you just look at the talent that you are already prospecting to get there. Batesburg-Leesville is going to get to the runner for no gain on the play and bring up 4th down and long here, 4th and 8 from the 32-yard line for Pelion. They're going to go for it on 4th down, but let's talk about that Carolina Bowl. You've already got your eyes on one player here from Batesburg-Leesville in the purple and gold. That's Patrick Swigert.
Yeah, Patrick Swigert's a kid that I've been actually looking at since the off-season and the preseason, and saw this kid and just couldn't figure out why nobody was on him, and did a film evaluation of him, and he's just an outstanding athlete. I talked to his dad a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and they like the fact that he plays tight end some and everything. But I told him, I said, let me tell you something. Patrick is a kid that can play tight end at a Division II level and be an all-conference player, or he's a kid that can play offensive tackle and end up playing on Sundays. I mean, that's the kind of potential he's got. And so it's just a matter of what do you want to do. For me, the longer road for Patrick Swigert is at the tackle level. And he's going to be a good one. He's got all the tools. He's obviously has a physical frame. He's got a frame, if you look at his clavicle, his collarbones, he's got a frame that can pack on another 40 pounds. And he could with his feet. He's an athlete. He plays basketball and baseball. He's a kid that's going to be one of those offensive tackles that you look at and say, God, that guy's an athlete, because he's got great feet.
And he has intangibles. He's another coach on the field. He gives you no problems in the locker room. He is the ultimate teammate, and he knows about adversity. And this is one thing why I think a lot of people were not on Patrick Swigert early, JB, is because this kid has only played 22 football games, regular season football games, and playoff games in his varsity career. Batesburg-Leesville, because of COVID, the last couple of seasons, we missed a lot of ball games. This is the only complete season he has had since his 8th grade year.
Well, and he really hasn't had a home in terms of position. And if you look over the years, you take a kid like Mark Barnes from Richland Northeast back in 2007. This was a kid that one of the reasons that I don't think that he was successful at the University of South Carolina is because he was a safety, he was a wide receiver. He did special teams. He was a punt and kick return, and he really never had a home on the football field, and that kept him from developing like he needed to do. I think Patrick is a kid that, you're at a small school like Batesburg-Leesville, you're going to have to play both sides of the ball. We played both sides of the ball when we were in school. But this is a kid that when he gets to the next level and he has a home, let's say it's an offensive tackle, he's going to develop into a very good football player.
Pelion going to convert on 4th and long as Lucas New takes it all the way, and they get inside the 20-yard line down to the 18. So it is Pelion now threatening with 4:11 to play in the first quarter, down 7-0 to Batesburg-Leesville, but they've got the football in the red zone now. Lucas New with a fresh set of downs is going to hand off going right to Collier, and Collier is not going to get past the guy that we've just been talking about, Patrick Swigert, who comes off a block, JB, and gets the running back Collier with his left hand, just sticks that big arm out there and brings him down for no gain on the play. Actually throws him down for a loss of 1.
Well, I'm going to tell you that...
Plus he was being held. It's a holding penalty called as well.
The Shrine Bowl coaches and North-South coaches, there's no way they watched this kid's film and didn't take him on one of those teams.
I'm with you right there, JB. I woke up the other day and I saw the North-South rosters that had come out, and I was just perplexed and scratching my head saying, I don't understand this whatsoever. Why Patrick Swigert is not on this list. I thought Batesburg-Leesville could also put either Corey Williams or Cade Balknight on there too, but there wasn't a lot of 2A players on there to begin with. And I was also surprised from the Shrine Bowl selection when we had Jerry Brown, who's the head coach, who used to coach here, won a state championship here, did not select Patrick Swigert either. Lucas New is going to throw, and it passes incomplete, almost picked off by Batesburg-Leesville's Amari Odom. So it's going to bring up second down and long now for Pelion as they trail Batesburg-Leesville 7-0. Now the Carolina Bowl, I've been looking on Twitter, following the Carolina Bowl, and one thing I like is y'all put out the prospect list, the watch list of every position. Y'all have some guys on there that are studs.
No, they're all studs. And I'm going to tell you, Birch, one of the things that we're doing is we're going after the best players. And at this point right now, I realize that there are players in the Shrine Bowl. Shrine Bowl roster's already been announced, and the North-South roster's been announced. That's not going to stop us from going after the players we want in this bowl.
Right.
Our goal is within the next 3 years to be the premier all-star game in the state of South Carolina.
Patrick Swigert's going to get to Lucas New, but he slips away back at the 40. Patrick had him back 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Cade Balknight comes in, finishes him off. Boy, Patrick Swigert must know you're up here, JB. He's showing off tonight. He put his work clothes on, and he came to work.
He is. But that just, on the other side, that shows you the athleticism of Lucas New. I mean, what a great job he did just getting out of that 20-yard sack.
So Batesburg-Leesville now has pinned Pelion back behind the 30 at the 33, third down and forever. They need the 9-yard line for a fresh set of downs. Pelion trailing 7-0 here to Batesburg-Leesville. The winner of this game guaranteed a spot. If it's Batesburg-Leesville, I should say, if Batesburg-Leesville wins this ball game, guaranteed a spot in the 2A Upper State playoffs. Can finish as high as third, as low as fifth still. Lucas New looking to pass, and he's going to feel pressure from Christian Burkett. Unloads before Burkett could finish him off, and it throws the pass incomplete, so it's fourth down now, and here comes the special teams unit for Pelion. They're going to have to punt it away here to Batesburg-Leesville and try to pin it deep. Saluda is up on Fox Creek big right now, 14-0. We figured that would happen after Saluda has lost their last two games.
Yeah, I think Pelion has to win by 19 points. Because if they don't, then the tiebreaker is going to come into effect, and that could actually take them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, Pelion is 0-3 in the region, and they have 28 points that they have scored, and they have been scored against 121 points. Fox Creek has scored 41, and they have 91 against them. They're at 1-2. Batesburg-Leesville at 1-2, but we have the head-to-head with Fox Creek. And the battle tonight for the region championship is Strom-Thurmond and Silver Bluff. Both teams at 3-0. Both teams beating, at the time, number 1 ranked Saluda.
That's going to be an interesting game. Silver Bluff's improved, and they've got some athletes on that team that are very dangerous.
I really like Strom-Thurmond's quarterback.
Love their quarterback. Is a great football team, and Birch, if you look at that team, they're big when you look on film and you see them coming out of the locker room. You know that their linemen and the utility players are all big guys, but they're skill players. They've got wide receivers that are 190 pounds, 6'1", 6'2", 190
and none have the last name of Hillary.
No, they don't. The Hillarys are gone now.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic football team. They're going to be a sleeper down in the lower state. I think Oceanside is a team to beat. I know everybody talks about Barnwell. Barnwell's got a good football team. They've got some dangerous players. But Oceanside, I think, is a different level in that lower state.
Yeah, they're the sister school of Gray Collegiate Academy. And as a matter of fact, they defeated Gray Collegiate to open the season. Mm-hmm. Batesburg-Leesville has it first down and 10 at their own 32-yard line after forcing the punt. Pelion having to kick it away. Watkins is going to throw complete to L.J. Williams out of the backfield, and L.J. is going to get 9 yards out to the 40-yard line. He's going to bring up second down and 1. And Travis Watkins, the sophomore quarterback, looking good tonight, looking like the Travis Watkins that we saw, or Tanner Watkins, rather, I should say, the Tanner Watkins that we saw here at home against Newberry in the win when he had a career night. Tanner just a sophomore, and the more reps you get as a young player, the better you get. And he is really developed here in the last couple of weeks. He looked good last week against Fox Creek. Looked good against Silver Bluff, too. Here's a handoff. Corey Williams is going to bounce out of a tackle that is going to be dropped for a 1-yard gain out at the 42-yard line. Could not get free of the second defender there from Pelion, so it's second down and a long 9, short 10 coming up. Now, the Carolina Bowl, that's December 10th, I believe, right?
We're actually playing the 11th. The 10th is the North-South game, and we're going to do the day after that.
Okay, gotcha.
So we'll be playing on the 11th. If we had known that the dead period was going to start later, because the dead period this year starting the 19th, we would have taken the weekend of the Shrine Bowl.
And you've got a great facility that you're playing in.
Yeah, we're playing at Fuse up in North Carolina. It's a professional complex, and
it's outside of Durham, right?
Yeah, great atmosphere up there. It's going to be a great thing for the kids. One of the things that we do, we put them in a good environment. We have the college coaches come in, we do a little recruiting fair, and then the other thing is these kids get a lot of gear. We give out a lot of gear and swag for these kids when they come.
And you promote them.
We promote them, yeah.
That's the big thing. You promote them.
And I think, honestly, one of the things that everybody talks about the politics involved with All-Stars. There's no politics here.
No.
We don't. There's no friendship. We don't base this on offers. We don't base this on friendships or relationships with coaches. Greg Porter is our head coach this year from Greenville High School. Greg and I work together. I do all of the evaluations. I put together the watch list. And every kid on that watch list, I've seen with my eyeballs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been evaluated.
Either on film or on site.
I've got a book, that you can look at. It's the book on evaluating football players. It was a bestseller. And it's got the criteria in there. So if you ever want to know what I'm looking at when I evaluate a player, it's in there. It's black and white. There's criteria on every position. And I go through that. And then I give those evaluations to, I'll rank the players by position 1 through 10. I'm like, Greg, this is what I think. This is our best players. And then we go about 5 beyond that on the watch list. And then, obviously we know who's getting picked by the North-South and the Shrine. But honestly, we just decided this year that I don't really care. If we're really going to consider ourselves one of the premier games, or to be the premier game, we've got to go after the best kids.
That's the end of the first quarter as it comes to a close with Batesburg-Leesville on top 7-0. And the Panthers have possession of the football in Pelion territory as Batesburg-Leesville looking good offensively, Tanner Watkins especially. And I tell you one to watch for next year coming out of Batesburg-Leesville might be number 5 for the Panthers. He just caught a pass earlier. That's Cole Price. And Cole Price, 6 foot, 155-pound junior, the son of Brett Price, who was a pitcher for the University of South Carolina with the Gamecocks in 2011, pitched in the College World Series and then pitched for the Modesto A's in the Oakland A's organization, was a 14th round draft pick. And Cole Price was a former quarterback here for Batesburg-Leesville, or Brett Price rather. Cole Price really looks good as a wide receiver in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the thing about developing wide receivers. If you can get them on the field during their sophomore year, junior year, and they can learn how to read a defense, because your receivers really need to know how to get open. But the biggest thing with receivers, and one of the things I look at, Birch, is when I'm seeing a receiver, I want to look and see how he transitions. When he's running a dig or an out or something, I want to see how he sinks his hips and transitions, because when you're playing against another all-star, you're playing against another kid that's an elite player, you've got to be able to transition that speed and get open. That's how you get open.
Batesburg-Leesville is going to hand off. L.J. Williams coming near side, and L.J. is going to get close to the first down marker inside the 30-yard line at the 29. It's enough for a first down. Batesburg-Leesville digging deeper into Pelion territory now. 1st and 10 Panthers with a 7-0 lead as we just begin the second quarter. Ball spotted at the 29-yard line, left hash mark. Batesburg-Leesville moving right to left on your radio dial here on the second quarter. We're talking with Jim Baxter, JB of SCVarsity.com, and also the Vice President of Player Development and Talent Evaluator for the Carolina Bowl, a new postseason all-star game that's going to pit the best of South Carolina against the best of North Carolina. It's going to be played December 11th. Tickets are on sale now, carolinabowl.com. Watkins wants to throw. He's going to throw across the middle, incomplete, looking for his intended receiver. As the flag comes in, he was looking for Jamarius Clark. We'll have to figure out what this flag is all about. It could be holding against Batesburg-Leesville as it was thrown by the White Hat. So we'll have to see with 11:15 remaining. Jim Baxter, what else? Some final thoughts around 2A football here in the Midlands, especially. Another team that's looking really good right now to qualify for the playoffs, and a team that Batesburg-Leesville could possibly play. That's the Raiders of Keenan. Yeah,
Keenan is actually not a bad football team. They've got Hernandez O'Neill as their quarterback. He's a very dangerous guy. He can throw the football, but he's just as good of a runner as he is a thrower. And this is a kid that can, throw for 2,000, rush for 1,000. So you get in a game against a guy like that, and so you really got to watch him. But they're solid on defense. They've got a couple of linebackers that I like over there. They've got a big defensive lineman. Their offensive line does a good job of protecting Hernandez and opening some holes for him. But they're going to be an interesting team to watch. You also have Gray Collegiate.
Yeah, are they beatable?
Gray is beatable. Somebody talked about being Gray in Oceanside in the state championship. I don't think Gray gets there. I don't think they have the defense to get there. I think that
Watkins is going to float the pass, looking for his intended receiver near side, Clark, and Clark is going to get interfered with. So that is going to bring up first down for Batesburg-Leesville, and it will move the Panthers 15 yards closer. The penalty earlier was against Batesburg-Leesville, so that interference penalty will basically wipe out that other penalty. Sorry to interrupt you there. I thought Jay Clark was going to have another touchdown reception there, but he was interfered with.
Pelion got away with an interference a couple of plays ago down here, so they're going to get that one back. But, Gray is strong on offense. They've got, Riley Staten at quarterback is probably the best junior quarterback, pure quarterback in the Midlands.
But they obviously miss Casey Adams.
But they miss Casey Adams. They've got 2 sophomore running backs that aren't bad. But the dog in the upstate is going to be Abbeville.
Yeah.
Abbeville struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season. They've got all their guys back. In fact, Antonio Harrison, great running back that they had last year, tore his ACL late in the season last year. Tonight is his first night back. So they've got their best running back on the field tonight.
And they still have Coach Nichols.
And they got Coach Nichols. So, it's going to be tough. I think we're going to end up seeing a matchup of Abbeville and Oceanside, when all the smoke's cleared.
Cade Baltnight is going to work out of the Wildcat again, and Cade is going to take it inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. It's going to bring up first down again for Batesburg-Leesville. Malik Williams from Silver Bluff shaking a couple of defenders in the backfield, and he gets off for a 17-yard touchdown run. So it's Silver Bluff ahead of Strom Thurmond right now with 1:18 remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. Malik Williams was very impressive here against Batesburg-Leesville. It's kind of a one-man wrecking crew. Yeah. Inside the 20, Cade Baltnight's going to take it himself out of the Wildcat again, going left side, near sideline. Cade inside the 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Batesburg-Leesville, touchdown! Cade Baltnight from 18 yards away, and Batesburg-Leesville goes on top now by 2 scores. here in the second quarter with 10:27 remaining. It is 13-0, and we'll send on Felipe Juarez Diaz for the extra point try. Again, you just put your fingers in the belt loop of 55 Pat Baltnight and follow him all the way into the end zone. That's what Cade Baltnight does.
Yeah, Baltnight, one of the things I like about that run he just made was you saw when he got to the edge, he plants his foot and he goes north-south instead of stretching it all the way out to the sideline. I like that. He got his block to the edge, and then he plants his foot and just goes north-south. And nobody was going to touch him.
Cade Baltnight, of course, we talked about Cole Price and his genetics, with his father being Brett Price and his mother, Mary Claire Baltnight, who was the daughter of Hayward Baltnight, legendary coach here at Batesburg-Leesville. But Cade Baltnight, JB, wears jersey number 10. So is his daddy, Ty Baltnight, who wore jersey number 10 and won the state championship as a quarterback for Batesburg-Leesville in that undefeated year of 1995. And Ty went 10 for 10 passing, 295 yards in that state championship game against Barnwell. That's one thing about being in a small town. You usually have parents that put some kids on the football team that have good genetics.
So you're aging me a little bit, because the 1995, the year they won that state championship, was SC Varsity's first year.
How about that?
And so that's pretty interesting that his dad was playing that year we started, and now I'm watching his son.
Here's a kick return all the way out across the 40 to the 45 to the 47-yard line. Good return there by Zion Davis for the Pelion Panthers, and they will have good field position here, trailing by 2 scores down 14-0. And Cade Baltnight, JB, he is signed to play baseball with USC Aiken. His dad, Ty, played baseball at Presbyterian College. So Cade, also a fantastic punter, is going to be playing baseball for USC Aiken next season.
That'll be good. He's, listen, anytime you can trade your athleticism to get an education, it doesn't matter where it's at. And that's what I try to tell some of these kids. They all got these dreams of running out to 2001 or running down the hill at Clemson, but they don't realize the work that it takes to get to that level, to get to that point. And what you really should be doing is saying, do I want to run out to 2001, or do I want to play football?
Right.
Because at some point you have to realize I may not be the caliber to play at that Power 5 level, but I can play. And I tell kids all the time, listen, if you want to play football, there's somewhere out there that you can play football.
Indeed, no doubt about it. And here in South Carolina, a couple of new schools or new teams from long-time colleges that have started programs like Erskine. They have their team back. Flying Fleet used to be a powerhouse back in the 1930s and 40s. They've got football again. You've got Limestone College. Batesburg-Leesville has Chris Witt up there. Tay Robinson up there as well. And Anderson College is going to start football next season with head coach Bobby Lamb, who won a national championship at Furman.
Yeah, I've actually been talking to Coach Lamb about some kids, and I send him my list of the 23 guys and the 24 guys, and I'd love to see them. Anything we can do to help kids get into school, that's what we want to do. And that's one of the things that we want to do at Carolina. We want to get the kids an opportunity to get an education.
And it just makes sense for a lot of these schools to put football back in the athletic department, because that's more enrollment. It's more kids that you have enrolling in your institution.
It is. And you take some of the Division II schools that take 100 kids. I mean, you've got kids on those rosters that, I'm not going to say they don't have a chance. Everyone has a chance. If you can get on a scout team and impress somebody, you can move up the depth chart at least enough to where you can get some reps at practice. But, every kid that's there in a Division II school is paying something to go to that school. So, and honestly, Birch, if you look at the Division II schools in the Southeast, most of the Division II schools in the Southeast, and particularly South Carolina and North Carolina, they are a tuition or two away from bankruptcy.
Yep.
And so they need those kids in their program.
And you look at South Carolina in Division II, you've got two teams that are ranked in the top 20, one undefeated in Benedict, that is 2 miles away from the state newspaper, and I haven't seen one piece of ink in the state newspaper about a 7-0 Benedict team that's ranked in the top 20. That is shameful. And then you've got Newberry College ranked in the top 20 as well.
Yeah, and Newberry, Todd Knight's done a good job at Newberry since he took over when Zach Willis left, and I believe that that's a school. That's one of the schools we talked a little bit, touched on the whole transfer portal thing earlier, but Newberry is one of the few Division II schools that are still actually going out and offering high school kids early.
Yeah, because you have a lot of Division II schools that will take anybody from the transfer portal. And here is Lucas New, who's going to get free down the far sideline for a first down inside Batesburg-Leesville's 30-yard line, out of bounds at the 28. So Lucas New moving the football for Pelion as they trail Batesburg-Leesville 14-0 here with 9:49 remaining in the opening half. We've got Jim Baxter of scvarsity.com in the booth with us, talking a lot of high school football, even touching on some college football. And I'm glad you brought up the transfer portal, because I think it's a bad thing for athletics in general, especially. It's going to trickle down into high school if it hasn't already, as Pelion's going to hand off going right side up to the 25-yard line for a gain of a couple, brings up second down and 8.
Well, last year and this year, it's really impacting the high school kids, because what happens, Birch, is you've got not only the transfer portal to deal with, but you've also got a bunch of guys out there that still have a 6th year of eligibility because of COVID. So now you've got this whole extra group of guys that should already be out of college and the transfer portal combined. And what happens is, you get these the smaller FCS schools, Charleston Southerns and Gardner Webbs and schools like that are going to sit back and they're going to wait to see what falls out of the transfer portal, because instead of offering a kid, and listen, I'm not going to say that I blame anybody. If I'm a college coach and I've got a outstanding high school running back that's coming out of high school that would be a sure pick, but I've also got a kid that maybe played for Miami of Ohio for 2 years, and he's getting out, he's in the transfer portal, and he's just as good, if not better, than the high school kid. This is going to give me a kid that's had 2 years in a classroom, 2 years in a college weight room, and he's 2 years older. There's a big difference in a 20 and 21-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Exactly.
And so, you can't really blame the college coaches. I don't think it's the coach's fault for taking advantage of it, but we got to do something about the transfer portal, and I don't know what it is.
It was brought in for good reasons because of COVID, but now that's over.
Well, it's unregulated.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
And it's affecting basketball, and it's going to start affecting baseball and every other sport. Fourth down, and Lucas New, under pressure, is going to avoid the tackle and is going to throw for the end zone. Has a man caught for the touchdown. Touchdown, Pelion. On fourth down, Lucas New rolls out of the pocket and finds Talon Gunner in the back of the end zone. 3 Panthers kind of in a 5-yard circumference there, but I think they had their eyes on Lucas New, just kind of watching him a little bit too much, and Pelion on the scoreboard on a big touchdown pass from Lucas New to Talon Gunner. It is 14-6 now, and Lucas New will try the extra point to make it 14-7.
The Dutch Fork is up over River Bluff right now, 28-0 in the first quarter. That's going to be a nasty game.
Well, I tell you what, Tom Knotts has done an amazing job everywhere he has been. We know what he did at Independence High School. Set a national record up there for consecutive wins before he comes down to South Carolina because he loves Lake Murray so much. And never will see him in long pants. He'll always be just like Ross Carey from Batesburg-Leesville. He'll be on those sidelines in shorts, whether it is 10 below or 100 degrees. It doesn't matter. But he has done a fantastic job there at Dutch Fork.
Ironically, we're just talking about the transfer portal.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people will bring that up anytime you're talking about Dutch Fork and the number of transfers they get in. But I'm not going to sit here and say that a coach recruits kids. Programs recruit kids.
Right.
Kids see what they're doing at a program, and they come in and they want to play there. They want to win. They want to have an opportunity to play on a big stage. They want to be coached by
and if you have a school district that has open enrollment.
Yeah, and Tom. Listen, man, Tom is probably hands down the best play caller that I've seen in high school football ever. I mean, he's probably the best play caller in the state of South Carolina, regardless of level of football.
Although he'll tell you last year he made a mistake in that Gaffney game.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, the thing about high school football, you're playing with the kids that you have on the field, and a lot of times, and one of the reasons that I'm not in high school coaching is I don't want whether or not I'm able to put food on my table for my family to depend on what's going through a 17-year-old's mind on Friday night.
Right. And I think Tennessee is thinking Dutch Fork High School right about now.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they had Hyatt went up there, had a great game. He got out of the state without an offer from South Carolina. The truth of the matter is, and I was over at Dutch Fork at practice when they talked to him. He had an offer from South Carolina, but the problem was when they talked to him, they told him, "Hey, we've got an offer from you, but it's only if you'll commit on the spot." And he's like, "I'm not going to commit on the spot."
Don't blame him.
So it makes it look like they cool off on him, and he gets out of the state without an offer. And the truth of the matter is, they made a mistake.
Stephen Witt takes the kickoff out to the 35-yard line. So Batesburg-Leesville 1st and 10 from there. Tanner Watkins wants to throw on first down. Has a man wide open. Caught at the Pelion 40-yard line. Stephen Witt. Witt still fighting forward, and we'll get down to the 35-yard line. Boy, Tanner Watkins looking really impressive tonight. Throwing the football. He started out just throwing the short patterns out to his receivers in the flats, and now he's starting to go a little bit vertical. He has built up his confidence, and that's really all this young sophomore needs, is once he gets that confidence going, he can be deadly throwing the football. It is 1st and 10, Batesburg-Leesville at the 35 of Pelion, ahead 14-7. Panthers will put 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Single receiver over there, that's Cole Price. It's Tucker Bolin and Jay Clark to the left. It's Cade Baltnight running the Wildcat near sideline, inside the 30, and Cade elbows the defender out of bounds at the 25 as flags come in. Not sure what those flags might be about there, JB. It might be against Pelion. We'll have to see. As Batesburg-Leesville working Cade Baltnight very successfully here tonight out of that Wildcat, really mixing things up with Tanner and Cade. Cade with a 18-yard touchdown run earlier. Picks up a nice run there. Penalty markers on the field, however, and it looks like it's going to be holding against Batesburg-Leesville. So take that run back against the Panthers, and they're going to spot it back at the 37-yard line. It will be Batesburg-Leesville football from there, first down at about 12.
Well, I was about to say something good about the referees on that last play, but now I can't. I mean, after that call, I didn't see a hold. That last play on the reception, there was a lot of contact. I thought it was a good no call. I like to see, the kids. I mean, listen, a defender's got every much a right to the football as an offensive player does. Your receiver on Batesburg made an outstanding catch on that play because he was well covered. That
was just Stephen Witt. Now, Tanner Watkins is going to float one, looking for Jay Clark near side. Jay having to come back to the football, was covered well. Good positioning there by number 12, Tyler Klassen, the sophomore. So it was 10th grader on 10th grader there. And that pass falls incomplete, so it's second down and 12. Batesburg-Leesville football at the Pelion 37 with a single possession lead, 14-7 here in a big Region 3 AA matchup.
That was great coverage by the defensive back, and on an evaluation point, I'll tell you, the kid was going down with the receiver. He was completely in phase on the backside shoulder, set up to where there was no way that receiver could stop and come back for the football, and that's just good coverage.
Toss sweep left side, Corey Williams out of bounds inside the 30, picks up about 7, maybe 8 yards to the 29 is where they're going to spot him. So it's going to bring up third down and about 5 now.
If these kids were taught well and coached well to stay in phase on plays like that, the backside shoulder pass would never be effective.
Right. So Batesburg-Leesville now third down, and we're going to call it 3rd and 4 from the 29-yard line of Pelion. Panthers looking at 4-down territory here. 2 receivers left side, Tucker Bolin and Jay Clark. Cole Price splits wide to the right. Toss it to L.J. Williams, dodges the defender, and L.J. is going to step out of bounds near the 27-yard line, short of the first down marker by a yard. Needs the 26, got the 27. So it'll be 4th down and 1 coming up here for the Panthers. It's going to be a long one, short 2. This might be one of the times you put Cade Baltnight back in the Wildcat again, or either just work Tanner under center and have him turn and give it to Corey Williams. We'll see.
I'd have a H-back behind number 55 and give the ball to somebody to run right behind him.
And that's another position that Patrick Schweigert has played this year. He has played a lot of positions. He played H-back against Strom Thurmond and played very well. He's going to line up on the right side at the tackle spot. Let's see if the Panthers are going to go strong that side. They're going to go Tanner Watkins with the sneak, and Tanner's going to be close to the first down marker. They might have to bring out the change for a measurement. We'll see. Pelion did a good job of stacking that line.
He got right to the 25. I mean, that's if it's a 26 mark, he should get it.
Looks like their referee is going to call the chain crew out from Batesburg-Leesville, coordinated by Ted Luckadoo. Let's see if they'll have to try it out or not. Yeah, he's going to ask them to come aboard for a measurement with 6:38 remaining. I think everybody was expecting Batesburg-Leesville to run behind Patrick Schweigert on that play, and really I think they may have used him somewhat as a decoy there because they had Tanner Watkins trying to sneak off of left guard.
Yeah, I like to see I formations. You know, I came from an I formation. I like to see a quarterback under center. It just baffles me when you look at the next level how you've got a 4th and 1 or